Call of Duty. Their weakness throughout the year has always been search and destroy. That's kind of the thing that's held them back from finals or even a championship.
EnVy is really good when they're on the same page. Take COD champs for last year. You know, they take a while to adapt to the game, you know, the metas, how to play, how to approach certain game modes, certain maps. But once they get that down, they're hands down top 3 team in the game. And Cap is the leader of that team. You know, he's Mr. Fundamentals in Call of Duty.
I know if we're coming out, playing well, playing our game, that we can beat them. Whichever team takes game 2 is probably in a good spot to win the series.
Great to hear from both Luminosity and Team EnVyUs. Here is the map set, though. Of course, it's going to be the same as what we've seen so far. Milk, obviously, I didn't ask for your predictions, but looking at this map set, who is correct? Is it Proof or is it Aches?
Joe, be careful. Be careful how you answer this.
It's tough. I think Proof's correct. I am.
Okay.
Answer correctly.
EnVy fanboys, they played for EnVy. It doesn't count.
No.
Wait, so
Okay.
you?
Yeah, I got dropped.
The handsome.
So I think there's sort of two things. I think a lot of people want to see this sort of Luminosity Optic rematch from Dallas.
Okay.
One that Luminosity probably should have won. However, I just think it's the matchup. I think EnVyUs knows how to play against Luminosity. They can capitalize on their mistakes. If they're able to slay with them, which they have the potential to do, they can steal respawn here or there and put the pressure on Search and Destroy.
Fair enough. Well, Team EnVyUs versus Luminosity Gaming about to get underway. We can set it down to our fantastic casters for the series. It's Puckett and Chance.
Thank you, Benson. Thank you, boys. Gotta love having Proofy here today, and this is going to be a good one. We started the day with a hot 3-0. That was Splice taking down Evil Geniuses. But then we just saw the biggest upset so far of the tournament. Enigma 6 knocking E United down to the losers bracket. Chance, now we're on the tough side of the bracket. Give me the lowdown. How does this one play out in your mind?
It's incredibly difficult. These two teams have matched up in the past. Again, Maven even mentioned it. They went all the way to Game 5, and EnVy ended up clutching up. And of course, they did so because they went 2-0 in the Search and Destroy. That's been the tagline for LG, is that their Search and Destroy has not been very good. It was abysmal leading into week number 1, or their stage week, whichever week that was. But they completely turned it around. They jumped up to like 62%. We're the best Search and Destroy team at the event. But it's worth mentioning, they had great records against the European teams.
Yes.
Against E United, they were 1-2. So again, those North American matchups when the teams know each other, I'm not sold on LG being back, so the respawns they have to win.
Have to win the respawns. As you mentioned, EnVy, of course, winning both searches in their previous matches. Also, they won both of the Game 1s. So if Luminosity is able to steal a Game 1 here, they could close this out in 4 games. It's going to be on Scorch, and when we take a look at the makeup of these two teams, who is going to have the better short-range play and who's going to have the advantage at distance?
And potentially even some strats coming out. I got word from Aches that Luminosity, they're rocking a load of grenades going into this first hill, potentially switching up just a tad. But again, if you can get an early break on the hill just before shooting your guns, that's a fantastic start. So we'll see if that works out.
Octane sticking with the NV4. They're going to try and just bomb this point and then pick them off from range. Everyone diving into the hill here. EnVy's going to see JCap down to about 10% health, but the kills are being traded. Slacked is going to find John. And now expect Luminosity to push in. They just have to get through Apathy. That kill from Saints is going to clear the way. And already, Luminosity is going to be in a good position, but EnVy, they have so many reinforcements with these close spawns.
Yeah, it's kind of nutty, honestly. LG, they get through, and then Slasher just comes back, immediately picks up a 2-piece, and EnVy strikes right back in. So, again, expect this to be a back-and-forth game. Two very closely contested teams. I'm sure they've scrimmed each other all the time. Obviously not leading up to this event, but again, Slasher in that kill feed picks up another 2-piece.
As you've seen, the team that normally spawns where EnVy did on this map is going to have the advantage on our first point. But after that, that's where the real time is going to be made up. We're going to be rotating over to the turbine. As you see, Apathy behind enemy lines is able to find Classic. Looking for a second. The challenger is there. Apathy is going to play his life. He gets in the hill. He's working on streaks now as well. Already has the Scarab. He's about 3 kills away from earning himself some rockets.
Huge teamwork as well. You see Apathy in that gunfight. He was just able to stay alive, and that enabled JCap to come in the back and pick up 2 kills. So EnVy, that's about as good of a start as you could possibly ask for. The only time Luminosity got any sort of control, only for 5 seconds, and they broke right back. Now we're on that money hill, and EnVy is making the plays. Still, well, they're giving up some time, actually. See number 300 minute, John pushed inside. He felt the pressure from the other side, wanted to meet up with his teammate Apathy, and now they're trying to re-break, and there you go. He gets 2 kills.
Absolutely huge plays from John. It was just Apathy and John on this side of the map. Now look at those blue arrows. those 2 kills are going to split Luminosity. And JCap, if he wins this one, it's going to be huge. Instead, Octane with 3 kills is still inside the hard point. He's going to pick up the 4th kill. The one-man army is going to give Luminosity 30 points as we rotate into the new hills. All 3 of his teammates are set up. Octane's just going to be rotating across the map, and this is where Luminosity can come back in the game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as well. You see Envy putting a lot of pressure in the back, but it's going to be a pinch as well, a player on that front door. They need to hit it together. John and Appy able to pick up the first 2, but they're going to get traded right back. LG, well, they still have those back spawns, but no, actually, they're going to spawn even farther out. Despite the fact that they had control of the hill, Envy put themselves back enough in the bottom right side of the map to get good spawns. Either way, though, LG still holding on.
LG, they're counting up on that scoreboard. You see already over 50 points. 25 points remain here, and those 3 make it 4 kills. Clean wipe will lock up the hangar. They should have every last second here trying to push out for spawns, though. Saints is going to get caught. John is able to get the intro kill for Envy, and they will pinch in here at the top of the hangar, fighting for the last 10 seconds. Classic and Saints, though, all over your kill feed. Luminosity's winning the slaying fight in the last 2 hard points, and they're set up first here on the drill.
And the question is, you saw them fighting for that last 10 seconds of Scrapple. Envy, they fight for it, they don't get it, and they give up all the control of drill. And of course, now LG is in full control. Believe it or not, you can lock down this hill for a substantial amount of time, but Slasher, again, I think he just picked up 3 in that engagement. So Envy with a very clean break. And again, they talked about on the desk, Apathy and Slasher, it has been their show so far in IW. And Slasher trying to continue that streak as well.
And John's numbers aren't super impressive, but I do like the way that he and Apathy are working together. They're kind of the front line. Apathy with the E-Rad is able to get so many multi-kills. John is there to distract or pick up the 3rd. Here is Slasher trying to add to the feed as he's able to pick up Classic. John now pushing forward is going to spot 2 more. They're just playing their lives. Envy slowing down this Luminosity push. They have retaken the lead. They're up to a 25-point advantage before LG gets into contest. This one is going to see LG come out on top, or no, Apathy with the 2-piece stays alive, outguns Octane before finally falling to the hands of Saints. But what an individual performance. That allows Envy to pick up the scrap time, and Envy can breathe comfortably once again here, Chance.
Yeah, it's just big plays all the way around, honestly. On that hill, multiple people picking up 2 pieces and 3 pieces. Kind of nutty stuff, but again, your first set of rotations have gone through. Envy, they had that gigantic lead. Luminosity does a very good job to make sure to keep that within reason, and still within reason here. They're looking to tie this one up and take back the lead. Just a 10-point game.
As we take a look at the mini-map, you can see those red arrows starting to come together. They're going to all try and hit at once. Grenades going in first. Slasher slides through, takes out 1. Octane, though, is waiting for him. Cleans up JCap and Slasher. Saints will find the other 2. The duos coming in at the right time here for Luminosity. They've retaken the lead. There's still 15 points to go. But really, at this point, they're starting to think about this turbine rotation.
Well, interesting enough, John, you see he's able to pick up 2 kills, and, well, there's a clean 4 down, but Envy got gifted with some split spawns. 3 players spawn over the next hill turbine. John gets gifted. He's just allowed to pinch from the get-go. Pretty huge plays, so Envy, they're going to have to control this hill from the start. They had the exact same setup last time around. However, LG was able to break through. We're going to see if Envy's able to hold on here.
And this is a similar situation that Octane was in. JCap all of a sudden finds himself the last man alive, and he's not going to get all 4 kills. Instead, he falls. Luminosity way too easily breaks through, and they have control of the turbine with 35 points to go. What went wrong there for Envy? How did they all get picked off one by one?
They got picked apart. They pushed out way too far from the hill, and they weren't able to set up the kills for each other. So LG, they just had the gunfights coming their way. And again, that's a team with incredible gun skill. They are happy to take those fights all day long. And of course, JCap, again, he was in a similar situation to John where there's too much pressure coming in on him, and he just leaves the hill and gives up time. Of course, though, Envy able to read break. But again, incredibly close game we have on our hands. The exact same situation we had last time around where LG is here for this early control.
I don't know if we should be giving credit to these teams for their breaks because we've seen so many great ones, or just their inability to hold, because Envy, it looked like they were in a bad spot immediately break through. Luminosity now set up in the hangar trying to defend. You see Saints and Slack picking up the kills down low, and it's going to be Octane, the player to watch for me. He's on a 2 streak. He already has 1 minute and 12 seconds of hill time. He's been all over these hard points. But he's got to use this K-bar at range, and it looks like his job right now is to watch the top. His teammates are actually doing the dirty work, and Slack with the E-Red playing a very similar role to Apathy in this game.
Well, and that was the problem that Envy had last time around. They didn't have enough pressure on the back rock, and well, they forced it that time, but LG had 2 players back there, so you have to take all those gunfights in the back, and then, of course, the players in the hill for LG know exactly where they need to look. Easier to take those gunfights. So LG a lot better at controlling that pressure, and they've held this hill for what? Nearly an entire 60. There's been a bit of contest time coming in. Envy, again, they're choosing a fight for that scrap with just a few seconds left, and it's allowing LG, excuse me, to get control of Drill. Of course, though, Slasher, again, picking up another 2-piece on that entry.
Slasher is so good. He's 17 and 18 right now, but he has had some big multi-kills. On the other side, though, the best player in the lobby, believe it or not, Classic. He was +10, now slowing down a little bit, but he has his camo, and payload's definitely something to keep your eye on as this game is coming to a close. You're going to have a 20-point advantage for Luminosity, slowly disappearing as Envy is all over the drill. They have 30 points still to go, and one by one, Luminosity is throwing themselves at 2-3 defenders, and they're getting outgunned. Slacked, he's able to trade out, but at the end of it all, it's Envy still scoring.
Yeah, and you see, though, Envy had a fantastic hold as well. They have players pushed up both sides. LG is going to get through, but that's only with 12 seconds left. So, again, good hold by Envy. But they're going to have 2 hills back-to-back that are on point, because LG, even on this middle hill, can make the game close enough that they're going to be forced to play it differently on Turbine. So you don't want to allow too many points to get on hand. And it looks like you're going to have that gunfight inside the hill. Number 3 versus number 8, Saints versus John. Of course, both players playing very cautiously, waiting for their team to come up behind.
Those grenades doing damage, and Apathy will clean up the kill on Saints. Classic is going to be forced back, and he just watched his Octane fell. The challenge, not a great idea. It's going to be all Envy in the kill feed, aside from Slacked. And you look at the numbers now. Envy, they were getting outslayed. Now you got Slasher back in the positive. John is staying positive with Apathy. JCap, he is not having a great game, but the rest of his teammates playing strong enough to keep him in this.
And right now, LG, they can't push up too far. They got to win the gunfights in the hard point, and it looks like, well, only one player is going to get the spawn at Turbine. The rest are going to be across the map. Envy started pushing up just in the nick of time, so that player is going to need to go off. That's number 5, and Classic is going to fall, so Envy, they are in great shape to be able to win this game. 23 points, and they take the win. And, of course, you got to pay attention to the payload. Slasher has his, Apathy's incredibly close, and then John and JCap all with the payloads in their back pocket.
Inside that factory, they are so deadly. John and JCap getting it done at short range. They have the spawn set up. 15 points to go. Here's the camo, though. Classic for Luminosity, trying to break in. He's getting jammed up, and he is going to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, though, you see the flank coming in. Slack can't finish JCap with 1% of his health. JCap is getting some help from John. They survive, and they will win game 1, 250 to 206.
And that's about as clutch as you can get, honestly, Envy. I mean, really, great performances all the way around. Slasher was pretty consistent with the 2 pieces. Apathy had a solid game as well. The problem for them was JCap and Sling was like 11-21. That final hill, he goes on a 6 streak. So when they need him to most, completely goes off. They lock it down from the start. They had all the payloads. I mean, you talk about that perfect placement of the Centurion, the player that uses camo on the other side, Classic. He's getting zapped. That basically completely disrupts the camo play. He's only able to pick up 1 kill. So, again, payload's a clutch, man.
Absolutely. Payload's coming in big. The camo was a non-factor, but you'd think if Luminosity waited just another second and pushed fully as a team, maybe they have a chance at a retake. It doesn't work out in the end, and Envy, just like history, is going to repeat once again. They take game number 1. The question is, will they be able to win both searches, or is this one going to be done before even a game 5?
Honestly, this might turn into like a 3-0 type game. You never know. Yes, Luminosity has turned around their search and destroy game, it seems, but again, going against those North American teams, it's a lot tougher. And as mentioned before, when they played against Envy back in Dallas, Envy took both of those search and destroys. Even in their week, Envy was fantastic in search and destroy as well. So it's an incredibly difficult road. If Luminosity is not winning respawns, it's going to be tough no matter who they're playing.
Luminosity, not the start they wanted. They had some flashes of brilliance, but at the end of game 1, it's Envy coming out on top. As we take a look at the box score, let's see how this all broke down. It seemed to be kind of a advantage towards EnVy right away on that bridge. And you saw the second half of the game, it started to pull away. Where Luminosity shined, it was the hangar. Octane, so difficult to get out of the hangar. He was melting people. Slacked was constantly pushing up, making sure no one even had a clear entry in. But the drill hill, Luminosity, they didn't rotate. It seemed that even when they did rotate that one time, EnVy was able to break through right away, Chance.
That's really just honestly an insane scoreboard. You lose 94-7 on Hangar Hill, and yet you win the game. You get destroyed on a hill, and it's not like you blow them out on any other hill. Yes, 87-23 is not great, but it's a lot closer. So again, good performances by EnVy. Definitely, I would think they need to work on that Hangar Hill in the future. Again, they kept pushing for scrap time when didn't make much sense to do so. But hey, if you can lock down drill like that, if you can afford to make those pushes, I guess it works out for you.
And I think the biggest difference maker, you saw it at the bottom of the graphic, John, the guy who wasn't having a fantastic group start, well, he's going to throw up a 1.32 most hill time for his team. John doing it all, going back to that MVP form that we look back on when, of course, he went off at the Call of Duty Championship last year in Black Ops 3. Our next map is loading up. It's going to be Crusher. We go into Search and Destroy, and as you take a look at these two teams and compare their search, what did you see from Luminosity most recently in group play, and what have you seen from EnVy in the past on this map?
Well, interestingly enough, EnVy, this was their worst one. I think they had a 5-2 S&D record. Well, they were 0-2 on Crusher. So, I kept bringing up about how EnVy probably has the edge in church. Well, it's their worst map, and then Luminosity was the flip. I think they were 1-1, so a little bit more even. But again, Luminosity, they've been improving, and now they're playing against EnVy on their worst Search and Destroy map. So, might very well be that flip-flop scenario where LG, they lose the respawn, win the search, and just everything gets wild. But hey, if we see E6 take down E United, if you're going to be wild, it might as well be at playoffs.
There are the faces of Luminosity. You can just see the frustration. Classic had a hell of a game, going off as kind of the short-range player, the objective player for this squad. Saints talking to the rest of the crew, trying to figure out what is the strategy to open up Search and Destroy. And we have TP next to us. I was asking TP, who does he think is going to take this next one? He said EnVy, pretty confidently. He's feeling the boys in blue are going to jump out to a 2-0 start here.
Completely reasonable pick as well. Again, these are teams, both North American, both have played each other time and time again in scrims, in practice. They play with each other in 8s all the time. So they know what people like to do. They know tendencies, and that's information that's incredibly beneficial. But we even saw it, EnVy. They played incredibly well as a team. You got a guy like JCap that's double negative and the game's still close. He goes off and you win the game. So when your teamwork is on point like that, Search and Destroy, obviously the most team-oriented game mode, might come into play.
Crusher, Search and Destroy, it's loading up right now. Game number 2, and if you're just joining us, this is the battle in round number 1 of the $500,000 playoffs. Luminosity fell in the hard point trying to answer back with the win on Search and Destroy. Historically, their worst game mode, but definitely a game type that they've been improving on as of late. Will they be able to pull it off? I think it's going to come down to the first bloods, and we're going to be starting things off here with the EnVy squad. They're on defense. Luminosity is going to have the attack, and normally that bomb is always going in the hands of Classic. He gets those points that go towards his camo.
Well, I like John here with the ERAD. That means they're going to be playing aggressive. And you see they're actually just going to hit this A bomb site. I don't want to say that too loud, but you see push right up. Apathy's going to get that one with the ERAD. Has the buddy to back him up. And those are going to be a very quick 3 kills. Octane in the 1v4. He's able to pick up 1, but surely he is going to fall very quickly. And that's going to be the case. The aggression comes out. Multiple ERADs, 4 hitting a bomb site on defense. And the round ends in what, 20 seconds?
This was ridiculous. Just to see the team shot between John and Apathy for that first blood, and then everyone surging forward. Apathy was in the feed, then JCap with a K-bar was right behind him. All 4 members running together, and they get the job done. They read Luminosity like a book in round 1, but now it's EnVy on the attack. We're on board with Apathy, who's leading the charge. They're going to try and hit B. Apathy's going to be looking for the first pick, but there's not going to be any challenger. Luminosity playing quite slow to open this one up on defense.
Yeah, we saw Spice do a similar thing where they have one guy, it would be Octane, watching the push through to B. But when Spice did it, they sent 3 players on the flank. Right now, LG, they have no idea where anybody's at. They don't know how many people are watching the flank. All they know is that the bomb is down and they're not at rock. So again, it's going to be more of a normal setup now to try to break into. But of course, with that bomb down, it's going to be advantage EnVy. Saints, though, with that first blood, doesn't even get traded out. Slash is trying to get out of dodge, and well, he's going to just fall. So JCap was in the 1v4, he picks up 2, but you got to win the gunfights if you're not going for the trades.
Octane and Saints come flying through, and there you see the final kill and the defuse given to Classic. Luminosity out of position, but still getting the round win.
Yeah, again, when you give up bombs like that, I think it would have been better if Envy just backed up and let the gunfights come to them more. Again, we're watching a player's perspective like Slasher. When the player slides in, he elected to not go for the trade. He was focused on doing other things. So they're taking the one-on-one gunfights. It's better just to back up, gather yourself, and let the enemy force the action. But either way, just close game. It's not a huge deal, honestly. Tied up 1-1. Going to see what LG is able to put back together on offense.
And we're back on board with JCap and the Envy crew on defense. Now we go to the bomb carrier just to show you Luminosity's route. They want to push this one up through middle, and they're stacking 4 heavy once again, but they're running right into a trap here. Envy is split 2 and 2 on the left and right. A team kill from the grenade from Octane, gonna blow up Classic. Octane's gonna answer with a kill on JCap, but last kill is going in favor of Envy here.
That simply can't happen. You can't have team kills, not at this stage, not with $500,000 total on the line. Again, every single kill, honestly, in Search and Destroy is worth like a couple $1,000s. Once you get far enough down the line, you're killing your own teammates. If you're flooding 4 people up mid-map, you shouldn't be chucking nades. You obviously have a lot of control. You're watching each other's backs. Again, just simple mistakes like that can be incredibly costly. So, I mean, if this goes to like a round 10, round 11, that's gonna haunt them.
Classic on your screen is going to be charging straight for B. Is that where Envy is going with the bomb? At least 3 of them will be showing. And Classic's going for the very high wall run. Here's the challenge. Wants to get JCap right away. First blood goes in favor of Luminosity. Now Classic hunting down 2 more. Cleans up the injured John. Spots the 3rd. Apathy surviving for now.
I have almost never seen the aggressive B push on defense fail. Teams are always incredible with it. Sometimes you have to use payloads to make it happen, but LG, they just got full control. As soon as they win the first gunfight, they don't even get traded. So it worked out pretty well. Honestly, very tough spot for Envy right now in that 2v4. On the bright side for them, they have bomb, but LG is just staying together.
Apathy with the bomb, trying to get this one down. They have 36 seconds to work with. 4 defenders, though, hunting for blood. Slasher, the protector, and Apathy is going to fall off the map. So now Slasher, he's got a choice. Do I challenge a 1v4 here, try and work towards my camo? That's the game plan. Tough, tough position. But when you're a professional player playing for $500,000, falling off the map, even in a 2v4, never going to work out.
Yeah, so like I was kind of harsh on the team kill. Team kills aren't good. Jumping straight off the map is pretty bad too. Like EnVyUs did that earlier, but at least he was in a gunfight and like he had an excuse to like force the movement in a certain direction. You just can't jump straight off the map. Like what's going on?
There were magnets in that hole for sure. Sucked Apathy down. We're starting things off here with Luminosity. Here's the attack. It's Classic with bomb in hand once again. Working towards that camo. It's getting close at about 72%. And Classic's going to be looking for the first push. Jammer grenades give away his position. Knows there's going to be attack any moment. Dodges all of the grenades. And is he going to push with the bomb here? He is. So bomb's down wide out in the open. And this is going to put his teammates in a tough position. Slacked is able to take out Slasher. So we're looking at a 3-on-3, making it a 2-on-2. And Apathy, last man standing, is going to survive. Can Octane chase this down?
1v1 situation, he is able to get bomb, and still no challenge coming through. Apathy is actually going to go away. Figured that round was going to end sooner rather than later. Either way, it's going to be pretty much a standard 1 versus 1. Bombs down, the trade's not going to immediately come in, so we get an opportunity to see how each of these players plays it. You see Octane, he has that NV4, but of course, enough time has been wasted. He's got to be worried about the player coming on the flank as well, but he's actually just going to be focused up front. Apathy, of course, had the ERAD earlier. Wants that gunfight to be up close, coming around the side. Octane's going to give his position away, and Apathy able to take full advantage. You reveal your position, and you're going to get gunned. And Apathy coming up clutch. Those are the important rounds, the ones that come down to these situations. That wins you the game.
Fall off the map with the 2v4. Come back, and you clutch up a 1v1. It's all forgiven. Great stuff from Apathy, and a tough position there for Octane. NV4, great at range. You have to check the bomb, though, and when he does, Apathy spots him and punishes immediately. And now it'll be Envy back on the attack here.
Yeah, no harm, no foul, very close game. Appy is going to get destroyed, completely unaware the player is going to be challenging for you, and Slack's able to pick up 2 in that station as well. So the players don't even get traded. Slasher's now going to be in a 1 versus 3, and that is another very incredibly quick round that comes in. Again, full credit to Slack. He picks up the first player with the ERAD. He made sure to stay alive, and he trades his own kill, essentially. Stays up. So, again, LG bouncing back. We got another close game on our hands.
And Aches, if we can, let's get a status update on the camos in this game. Classic, of course, for Luminosity going up against Slasher from Envy in the payload battle. Here's a look at Slasher. He needs about a kill or 2. Meanwhile, Classic, he's got his ready to go. Luminosity on the attack once again. Envy stacked heavy over at A, so this is a wide open B bomb site.
Last time around, LG, when they were on defense, played it just to watch the cross. Slasher isn't watching you, but he's waiting for the push to come all the way in. And this time, Envy is going to be the one sending 3 players on the flank. Octane, though, incredibly aware. And you can actually see how they reacted to that pressure. As soon as Octane calls out, there's multiple people on the flank. As he's picking up every kill necessary, his team pushes out to rock, and Slasher's going to be by himself. And again, Slasher, maybe he's able to get 1. He's not going to get all 4. Tough situation. And again, that's what you have to do. You have to recognize what the other team is doing. Octane, as soon as he calls it out, his teammates wasted absolutely no time, and they push up to the place that was open on the map for him.
Envy has the best search and destroy record coming into the playoffs out of all of our group stage teams, but they have not won a game on this map crusher. They have not done it. On the other end, we are going to see Luminosity, who has known to just struggle in search, performing very well. They're up by a round, but now you got a camo available for Slasher. He's going to be more dangerous than ever. The whole team getting outshot up to this point in search and destroy, trying to turn the tide here in round number 8. Bomb's going to go down right away. Cover is going to be in position from John at short range, and you can see in the back, it's going to be JCap with that NV4 watching the long lines of sight.
And this is the exact same situation we saw earlier. LG, they're happy to give up the plant. They trust their gun skill to be able to retake these bomb sites. And of course, they have the camos to work with. The camo jump past the other camo. Not sure if they recognize it. Classic able to get through, shuts them down. And of course, Saints picks up 2 as well. And there's that final kill. LG has certainly fixed their search and destroy, looking much better now than they have in the past. And well, again, you call out how important the camo plays are. You had the twofer. You got a team kill at the end there, so let's hope that
a little celebration.
Yeah, you don't want that to bite you in the
You only need 1 more round. Just go ahead, take him out. Get him out of the way. That was all Classic and Saints there. Saints clears the way with the 2-piece. That allows Classic to finish off the final 2 kills using his camo. Luminosity now could tie up this series at 1 apiece. They need just 1 more round. They have the bomb. They have the reactive for Saints, who's having a hell of a game at 7-4. No one from Envy has been a true threat on defense.
Well, LG storming up. Envy putting a lot more presence on this back rock to get those trades coming in much quicker. Neither player going to fall right now, and of course, this is just going to be an aggressive fight. They have the reactive armor pushing through. Saints is able to pick up 1, still has more tank or gas in the tank, and of course, Apti is now going to be in that 1 versus 3, and of course, they have that bomb. So if Apti doesn't challenge right away, easy bomb plant, easy round win. LG looking to take this unless something crazy happens, and that is not going to be the case. Very confident win. Honestly, LG, again, I said I wasn't quite convinced that their search had been fixed. Well, it might very well be the case. Of course, though, Envy, this was their worst map, but I don't know. We got ourselves a series here, Chris. 1-1.
Yes, we do. Luminosity, have they fixed their search problems? Well, they looked pretty darn solid there in game number 2. Slack getting 3 of the final kills in that last round. Overall, this has been back and forth scorch. Honestly, I couldn't tell who was going to control the hard points at times. It just seemed to be chaos at all moments. When it came to the search and destroy, though, it looked like Envy, they had a better game plan. They started off really strong, playing aggressive defense. But as the game wore on, it seemed that Luminosity was just better at the trades.
Yeah, it's one of those things that they were playing just for kills. They were happy to give up bomb plants. There was no superior strategy coming in. It's just, hey, we're going to all play together. We're just going to win our gunfights. We're going to keep it as simple as possible. And of course, they pulled off the win. So again, they play together in search. As long as you trade your kills, that's good enough.
Second to the last match of the night, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading to a quick break. When we return, though, this continues. It's the swing game as we head to Frost for Uplink. Welcome back to the Stage 1 playoffs. Here's a look at your G Fuel key player matchup. On your left, we have Slasher from EnVyUs going up against Classic from Luminosity.
Yeah, honestly, you normally talk about Octane being that AR to face Slasher, but Classic has been on point this series so far. We saw big camo plays, had a pretty big game number 1 despite the loss, so he is the man to watch going into game number 3.
That is your G Fuel key player matchup heading in to Uplink on Frost.
Welcome back, guys. Before we get into this Frost uplink, I want to break down how to limit your team's scoring potential on the least favored side. And what I mean by that side is the side that's going to be on the right side of your screen here. When you're spawning on this side, you need to do your best to not get taken out so early on this bottom side ship here. If you get taken out, the other team has such a good opportunity to have this clean lane over to score that we've seen so many times. It forces you to spawn out on this weak side of the map over here, just something you want to try and avoid. So basically what we want to try and do and limit that, which we see teams do a little bit more now, is take the drone to this top side, the snow side of the map towards this wall run. And by doing that, it forces the other team to have to rotate from the spawn that they're getting back here over towards ship, because that's the strong side of the map. It forces them to rotate to these areas of the map that they don't really want to push towards, Ice Path and back blue. They don't really want to push into those areas. So it basically, if you do get taken out on that top side of the map, it doesn't give them that clean sort of route to get those clean points afterwards. So if you can take that drone up there, pick up kills, it gives you a bit of a safer chance to score on that outside wall run compared to getting taken out at ship and giving them good possession in order to get a good chance at scoring on you. So I think you're going to start to see these NA teams do this a bit more on uplink in general and to sort of limit their scoring potential on that good side, if you want to call it that. It's going to do it for me. Back to the casters for game number 3.
Excellent breakdown there from TP. Something to keep your eyes on as this game plays out. If you remember back to the first matchup, we saw it quite a bit going up against Evil Geniuses. You saw quite a few attempts to the wall run before they switched it up and then started going in through the sub. Last match also, you just saw Enigma 6 getting scored on from all over the place. I think the real key here is to get the kills chance. And when we look at these two teams when it comes to uplink, we got to talk about the big slayers. Here's your leaderboard, and you'll notice one guy towards the top of it, Octane, has been my favorite to watch in this game mode. He is so good on defense, but he's a two-way player. He can also go and score, put up those 1 points or dunks.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things that even if you're on the back line trying to pick up kills, if the guy that's pushing up furthest, your SMG guys, the guys that oftentimes don't get enough credit for the role that they play fall, Octane's going to be right behind him to pick that drone up and get those scores. So again, guys can do it all. All 4 players on that team, honestly, are incredibly talented. Of course, though, Envy, they had the edge in the first respawn, and that was even with a player kind of going substantially negative. Of course, JCap was able to clutch up going on that 6 streak towards the end, but going to need a consistent performance like that again going into the uplink.
And you see JCap coming in at number 7 of all of our players through stage 1. He had a monster uplink game against Splice way back in week 1 when Envy was able to mount their comeback and steal the number 1 seed. Now they're trying to defend that seed against Luminosity, who just tied things up, winning their worst game mode, Search and Destroy. So this one is anyone's match. Who are you favoring, though? Who do you give the edge?
Trying to go through my head. So you have the Octane versus Slasher AR battle, but then it comes down to the submachine guns. Frost, sometimes teams run, 4 ERADs even if they're feeling kind of frisky. So of course, Saints is on point, Slacked is amazing, and then Classic. All 3 incredible SMG players, and of course, you got App and John. So the question is, for me, how well can JCap perform if, no matter what gun he's rocking, honestly.
Right.
Again, in that first hard point, not looking good. So I think JCap is probably one of the biggest deciding factors in this game of what performance he's going to bring to the table.
Is there ever a point where we see Slasher pulling out an SMG?
Only if the team is really dedicated to just playing for that aggression. I don't know if they come out with that strat from the start. I know some teams even like to have 3 ARs in this map. God knows why, but we have seen it happen before. And again, it's kind of like that heat of the moment thing. If they need the aggression, if they just need to find a way to fight into the enemy's base, maybe Slasher pulls it out. But frankly, if I were him, I'd chill with the K-Bar MV4 all day.
Chill with the K-Bar. That's probably the smart move to go. It sounds like we have a 2-2 split for each team. Thank you, Patty Price, Mr. Aches, controlling our camera, letting us know how this one is about to go down. Keep your eyes on the SMGs as this one plays out, though. If you look back to the Splice versus EG game, EG was trying to run 3 ARs versus 3 to sometimes 4 ERADs for Splice, and they were simply able to mow through their opposition. Here we go, though. Game number 3. It's kicking off right now, and for me, this is a must-win for Envy. You got to regain a little bit of momentum. You can't let Luminosity win Search and then a respawn heading into the final hard point.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the way that this series has played out, though, it's like it's a must-win game for both teams at every given moment. Again, incredibly closely contested. This was the expectation that this was the series that was going to be the best one on day 1. Maybe not the ones that the fans wanted to see the most, but the one that had your best chance of going to Game 5. Yes, E6 mixed things up a bit, but this is kind of your barn burner. And, well, LG, they're in that early control. Octane, the guy that had the 1.3 KD, starting off 2-0.
Apathy being annoying, just going for the lower wall run with the drone, buying time. Eventually he'll fall, and that drone will reset outside. Octane is going to watch him fall to his death, and now gets into position with all 3 of his teammates. Here comes the push. Those blue arrows looking for the intro kills. Classic's going to get the first. John will be on the flank, but the drone is already pushed up in the hands of Slack. This is a 2-point dunk. Perfect execution, nice patience, and a good lead blocker there in Classic and Saints.
Yeah, and a couple of things to note. Yes, Apathy wasted time on that wall run, but he wasted time just for his teammates to die and give LG control. And then again, a slow start coming out of JCap, 0-3. Again, he's kind of that 4th guy. You see he's rocking the K-bar as well, but he was getting shut down, and that costed. Still, of course, incredibly early in this game. Got a lot of Call of Duty left to play, and it looks like Envy's trying to fight back with a little bit of control, but back to kind of that 50-50 mid-map split.
Apathy up top, picks up the kill on Saints, but then is immediately gunned down. Over to JCap. We're going to sit on board with him in his K-bar for a moment. After an 0-3 start, back up to 3-4. Slash is going to go on the right wall. And inside, he's going to find 2 players. Here's his first, gets the pick on Classic. Team shot coming into play. Apathy and John trying to be there for support. The drone is going to be moving up in the hands of Apathy now. John got to get both kills on Octane and Slacked. And now this is a scoring opportunity here for EnVyUs.
Yeah, John went huge right there to pick up 2, but the rest of Envy needs to win some gunfights, and it looks like it's going to be App and Slash working together, each of them able to pick up a kill. LG, though, they're going to be able to pick up that drone, and they're just going to get the reset. So again, smart plays by Saints. Envy, they put on the pressure, but they just relieved it pretty much instantly. And again, to make sure to get that drone actually off the map this time. So LG doing well on the defensive stand.
Envy was running around the map a little bit. I wonder if they go straight for the shot, if they get a 1-point play out of it. Either way, the score sits at 2-0 in favor of Luminosity. 2:30 still to go in our first half, and Envy, for now, has map control, but the respawns just too strong. Luminosity should be able to retake control of the sub. It's going to be Saints challenging the top position. With John down, this should be an easy push now.
Well, Octane again trying to make that defensive stand. He's going to get the drone and try and toss it off the map, and actually
trick shot
kind of gets that rebound shot as well. So that's how in-depth these players know the game, that they're going for the sneaky plays like that. Of course, though, Envy with that drone control, LG, the pressure is on them once again to try and come up with that big play. Saints is able to get kind of that first entry kill, though, to slow down this momentum. He knows exactly where the drone carrier is coming from as well. And you see JCap, he was just kind of going for it. And of course, I think there was someone for LG set up for the interception, even if that shot goes off. So Envy, they're pouring on the pressure still, but LG doing a very nice job of holding them off.
And I do want to give credit to Saints. Big defensive stand, picks up not only the drone carrier, but also the supporting cast. And this is the guy that a lot of people are saying is the weak link on this LG team. They're one of the best slaying squads, but if there's any player that's a little bit inconsistent, it might be Saints. So far in this series, he's playing good, had a strong game number 1, was on top of the leaderboard in Surge. Here he's 13-8, and that is another big stop on a drone carrier. JCap and Apathy, though, still in the base, and that will go through for 2. So it's all tied up with the minute 12.
Yeah, one of the best stats that we don't actually have, and I don't even know if there's a good way to get it, is that drone control. So Envy has been applying pressure for the past 3 minutes of the game. And yes, LG continuously made those defensive stands, but eventually something's going to give. If you apply enough pressure, at some point you're going to get some scores in. And of course, LG, they've had maybe 2 scoring opportunities this entire game. This is going to be number 3, and well, it's a clean 4 down, so they put the pressure on and make it work pretty quick when LG is on offense.
Slacked working on a Scarab. He has all 4 of Luminosity's points so far. even in the kill feed. Saints, the only player positive on his team. He needs a little bit more help from Classic and Octane, who is off to a slow start. Saints, though, continuing to impress again with this E-Rad. How many double kills can he score in the first half? He's going to be the lead blocker. Here it looks like you're going to have Classic distracting down low. Classic picks up Apathy, and Saints is going to find JCap. So we could see another dunk here coming in from Luminosity. As I say it, Slasher holding strong, picks up 3 kills, and that will keep it 2-4 going into half.
And again, pretty big plays once again. Slasher, it seems that every time he gets 1 kill, he manages to find the second. Very consistent with that. And again, pretty big play. Again, LG, they had the entry kills kind of scattered across the map, and Slasher was definitely that last line of defense. Either way, we're going to continue parroting this like the entire series. It's going to be close. Search and Destroy is going to be close. All the hard points, they're going to be good, solid games. And of course, that first side, 4-2, got another one.
It's the best matchup in round 1, in my opinion, without a doubt. No one saw the upset from Enigma 6 coming. But now we can see, will Luminosity be able to take a lead? They've got to hold on for 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Envy attacking for the drone, trading out kills early on. Slasher, he was the man at the end of the last round, and he has now jumped out to 20-11 after a slow start. On the other side, Saints keeping pace at 19-12, but you're still having a tough going for Octane. It seems Slasher's getting the best of him.
Yeah, I don't know, Slasher, he's put the team on his back. John has heated up quite a bit on this second side, and that might be what Envy needs, but Slasher's doing everything he possibly can. And of course, Octane not having the best performances at the moment is going to be able to finish 1 and at least spots out that drone carrier going towards sub. But again, LG backs her against the wall. The defensive pressure is on your end, and John again opens up with 2. JCap's going to have at least the 1 on board, and he's just going to take the easy points, sinking that shot, making this just a 1-point game.
And Merc is mind blown. He's like, what just happened? Why wouldn't you go for the dunk there? You just got 3 kills. Put it down. Instead, the 1-point play is going to keep Luminosity in the lead. 3 straight kills in the feed. It's all blue. This is at least a 1-pointer. They wanted the dunk. Instead, it's going to be a 1-point toss. Octane cleans up 3 kills after that drone goes through as well. Fantastic stuff here from Luminosity. They can keep the pressure on and potentially even go for a rally here.
Yeah, Octane getting those kills is pretty huge. Able to stay alive. He's at 5 as well, so he's getting closer to those streaks and even closer to that overdrive as well. Pushing out, is going to get shot in the back, waiting for his teammate to kind of help him out, but it looks like Apathy was able to pick up 2 right there. Very nice job to make that defensive stand. So again, 1 possession game, 2 points. You see JCap has that overdrive at his disposal as well. So they're going to be looking to get that drone to him once they push farther up this map, and here we go.
JCap knows they need the kills first. Can't pop that overdrive quite yet, Chance. And here are the shots. JCap continuing to push back LG members. He's just waiting for Apathy and John here. And now out comes the score streaks. The Scarabs are going to meet in the middle, and it's all blue in the feed. Saints is going to pick up 3. Slack killed a teammate, but they have the drone, and he still has a lead blocker, and Saints up front. 3 defenders on the other side of this wall. Saints is going to take down the health of 1. You're going to see the peak coming in. JCap slides out, throws the drone forward, trying to slow down LG, and that opens up things for Octane and Slack to get the kills. Toss goes up, 6-3, doubling the score of their opponents. Luminosity still in control. Just seems to be small mistakes here from EnVyUs at times.
I mean, yeah, if I'm LG, I'm very happy with that. The team kill that came in is actually just unfortunate. The Scarabs blew each other up, and the player just happened to be nearby. Actually, what happened in the Search and Destroy earlier, similar thing. It was a trophy system that blew up to force the team kill. So unfortunate situations, but they turn it into points. They're able to bounce back. It is not a big deal, but the pressure's coming in for Envy. The interception, though, is going to come in. Classic, making the big plays when his team needs them to most.
Nicky D's a baller, man. Grabs that one, but he will not be able to push forward with the drone. Needs the kills first. Octane takes down Apathy. 3 more defenders in the center of the map. And what an angle from Octane. Can he get the kills now? Gets 1, catches a second off guard. No health, he's gonna get all 3. Put that in your top 5.
And he wastes no time as well. Pops that overdrive. Is going to try and sink in the one. He's going to connect in the end with the shot as well before he gets taken out by a slasher. So, again, top 5, as he called it. Picks up 3 kills. Waste absolutely no time. Did it basically as a one-man show, and that might just be the defining stamp on the game. LG, they got that 7-3 lead, 2 possessions, and they have drone control as well. And look at Nicky D. He's got the camo, and he's got a kill at his belt.
Man, Octane may be LeBron in this game, but Saints has been Kyrie so clutch all game long. 31 kills for Saints. He pops the reactive, and he's going to pick up 2 more with it. Shreds through Envy. This game is done. 45 seconds to go. Now it's just a question of, will Luminosity be able to continue to put points on the board?
We're going to see. They're reining in some streaks as well. Pretty fantastic game all the way around. I mean, you go back to that first half, Envy applied pressure for the majority. Like 3.5 minutes was spent with LG basically stuck in their spawn, but they make continuous defensive play after defensive play. And then the only times they were able to attack, they were able to turn it into points. And then the second side, obviously they just blew it open. I mean, Saints, 37-22. Like, good Lord, if you need a good ERAD player on Frost, he is not a bad one.
He's going for the 40 bomb, baby. 38-23. Saints going plus 15. John's going to add some kills to the column at the end of this one. Finally, Slasher is going to get his camo, but one camo and you get it in the last 2 seconds, that's not going to lead to any dunks for Envy. Saints shutting them down, and most importantly, they took out the X factor for me. Apathy has been a rock star on this map in the past. He simply could not get anything going. Just too much pressure from the Luminosity ERADs.
Yeah, and when you talk about pressure, I mean, this is playoffs. It's the top 8 teams. They're fighting for the guaranteed top 6, because if you fall right here, the road for you is incredibly difficult. I mean, the teams that you're going to have to fight through that loser's bracket is absolutely insane. It's Optic and FaZe that are playing next. So the loser of that faces loser of this. That is not a fun road to be on. So, again, a lot on the line here, fighting for that $500,000 in total prize pool, $200,000 if you win. But LG, they're looking good. They fixed the search and destroy, but you got to win the hard points as well, because apparently that's Envy's new strength.
And honestly, it's not the stars that I expected. I thought that Octane would be kind of the game changer for this Luminosity team throughout the respawns. I thought that we were probably going to be looking at Slacked a lot more. That last game, it was classic for me. It was Saints. You saw a monster play from Octane towards the second half, but really, these 2 players were so consistent. Nicky D, one of their best in respawns. He does it all, gets the kills, makes the calls on the comm side, and then, of course, is always controlling that objective.
Yeah, it's tough to even pick a best player on their team. I know both the guys in the analyst desk said Slack, which is a great pick, but, I mean, Classic has been amazing this series. He's been making some pretty solid camo plays. In the past, Octane has had some MVP-like performances, one of the best ARs in the game. It was even mentioned up there with your RCDs, with your Formal. All fantastic. These are, 4 juggernaut-type players. All slay heavy, all incredibly talented. They just need to make sure they have that teamwork as well. But I don't know, so far in this series, so good.
Well, you saw the strength of Luminosity's short-range players. That was on Scorch, Crusher, and Frost, all very short-range maps. Now, though, we're going to Retaliation Hardpoint. So if you're looking for Octane to shine, this could be a map to do it. On the other side of things, the most consistently dangerous man has been Slasher for EnVyUs. Will he show up in a big way here going into Game 4?
I would certainly expect. I mean, even in that uplink, Slasher was absolutely giving it his all. Had a pretty monster performance. I mean, even the first half, he had like 20 kills, and the next highest in the lobby was at like 13 or something like that. And again, AR presence on Retail is absolutely massive. I think the statistic that was trailing away through our first 4 weeks of group play was the team that outslays on Retaliation Hardpoint wins like 100% of the time. I don't think, at least up until week 4, there were no exceptions to that rule. So you're gonna need some kills in your favor. I don't know about you, but when I think of kills, Luminosity is a team that is very capable of putting up some serious numbers.
And if you just watched Enigma 6 upset E United on this map, you have to keep in mind how important the positioning is when it comes down to the graveyard and the broken hardpoint. Who is going to rotate? Who is going to hold stronger? Because that's where you can really pull away with this game. Very tight matchup. We knew it would be. We hoped it would go to a Game 5. Historically speaking, you look at the last 2 MLG open bracket tournaments, Atlanta and Dallas, Envy has bested Luminosity both times, going the distance in a Game 5. They need to win this hard point, though, if they want a chance to make it 3 in a row. Otherwise, Luminosity is moving on to the second round to face the winner of Optic and FaZe, who face off to close out our night.
Yeah, it's a very tough road for Envy. I think they're going to have to play it nearly perfectly to win. Certainly, again, very closely contested. It should be a close game in the end, but I definitely think Envy, not only is their back against the wall, but especially on a map like Retail, when, again, you need those kills, it's going to be tougher for them to kind of fight through that in a multitude of ways. Of course, though, again, John has had moments where he has absolutely caught fire. Slasher has been fantastic. Apathy has been amazing so far in IW. And even JCap, yes, he's normally on the lower end of the KD scale, but he's had moments where he's just turned into a different player. Even back during Envy's week, I think it might have been week number 1, he went from being one of the worst players on day number 1 to one of the best by day number 3. So he is certainly capable of turning anything around that he needs to. Again, how many players can say that they have 2 rings? JCap is definitely a guy you want to
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yep, JCap and Karma. That's all we got in Call of Duty. Here we go. Game number 4, Envy. They are facing a spot in the losers bracket unless they come up clutch right here. We're starting things off with the man we think is going to have the biggest impact on their potential victory. It's Slasher with the NV4, the most powerful AR at long range.
And it's pushing up pretty aggressively as well. He's going to have 2 players on the bridge, and he's going to get taken down pretty quickly. Of course, though, his team's still able to take control. They put all sorts of pressure on the hill, and you see a bunch of friends in the kill feed all picking up kills for Envy. Meanwhile, Octane hasn't even gotten in an engagement yet, and the first one he does, he falls. So Envy looking very good off the rip.
John and Apathy jumped up for early control of the bridge. Meanwhile, you saw Slasher distracting down low. Bit of a bloodbath going back and forth as Luminosity actually can break in for a moment behind Slack's 2-piece. Octane looking for more. Pre-aiming the entrances, Slack is pre-firing, both with NV4s in hand, but here comes Envy.
John able to pick up that first entry kill, fighting for 10 seconds left of that scrap time, and it looks like they're going to be successful with it. Envy, they're going to have the lead going over for that rotation. Of course, the players, they basically just killed, so it's not even as if Luminosity has great spawns to get over to the next hill, and it looks like Envy, they're kind of swarming over for that control. You see, Apathy is going to be the first player inside the hill, and the remaining players for Envy all kind of fluttered around this platform area, so good positioning so far from those boys in blue.
JCap was controlling the top patio. He will fall, so Apathy knows he's got to get the cover instead. He's cut down by Octane, but despite Octane's single kill, there's 3 going the other way in favor of EnVyUs. John is going to find his 2nd in a row. Slasher on a 3 streak. Both players defending the hill, and Slasher's in the power position up top.
Yeah, absolutely prime. He's going to be able to spot players pushing up mid-map. He's got players when they come to plat. Had a little bit of control. Scaffolding as well. Has 2 players in front of him. Of course, the K-bar going to be a little bit better at that close range than the NV4. But either way, Slasher's still able to pick up 1. LG, though, you see the control right now they have on that far left side of the mini-map. They are stacking 3 players up in market right now, and JCap's actually able to pick up 1 before he dies. John is going to fall. Saint's able to pick up 2 very big kills. You can see just how important market is right now. Envy is flooding their entire team up. You actually see 7 on your minimap. Slack, he's going to be coming up behind all 4 players. Classic needs to buy him some time. He did just enough, and Slack is able to pick up 2. Meanwhile, Octane, he's been bored inside this hill. He's done nothing for 20 seconds, and now he knows exactly where the pressure's coming from, but JCap coming up clutch.
I like the pinch idea. The execution didn't pay off because the spawns were all the way across the map over at Broken. So Octane's now in a 1v2, and he has his opponent spawning close up on him. Luminosity, they lose control of the graveyard, and after giving up all of that time at the lower street, this could put them in a massive hole. They got to break through. They got to get the kills here on Apathy and JCap. Down goes JCap. Apathy is still up. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, Slasher trying to set up for the new spawn. 10 seconds left here. And it looks like Envy is going to get every last second of the Cathedral, but Luminosity will be set up first here at Broken.
Well, they were set up first in Graveyard as well, and it took Envy a matter of 20-25 seconds before they're able to break through. So, of course, Envy going to be looking to do the exact same thing once again. Apathy trying to pick up that first intro kill. He's pushing up through curve. Meanwhile, Saints is actually pushed up all the way mid-map. And, of course, Classic is going to be relieving pressure that's coming over from that curve area. So, LG looking good so far. And, again, Slack able to pick up another another kill with Saints to make sure his teammates stay alive.
It's going to come down to a big 1v1 potentially. Octane spots a player, tags him up, but is going to be chased down. Luminosity is flooding back in. Slack so fast, sprinted across the bridge and got into this power position, picks up 2. Saints is going to find a 3rd, so it's only John. And John somehow stays alive, cleans up 2 kills, and is going to buy his teammates some time to get back into the action. Luminosity had a chance to really bring this one back. John is going to keep Envy close, and now we're going to move back to the early hard points. With a pretty close game, Envy, they definitely won that first rotation, though, Chance, as we go to the hallway.
Yeah, you're going to need Octane to step it up. He's not getting in very many gun engagements at all, and he's losing them. He has 16 total. Slack has just 14 total kills. And again, you even go back to that graveyard hill where Octane was doing, nothing for 20 seconds, but getting hill time, which is his job, but he loses the gunfight that mattered the most. And those are those clutch kills that Envy's been on point with so far. Of course, though, on this Hall Hill, LG has been looking pretty fantastic, held it down for the majority of the time. Of course, though, Envy, the pressure is coming in. It's going to be up to John to make that happen. He's only able to pick up 1, so LG holding strong.
From down 50 points to bringing it back within 30. Luminosity scoring a lot more than I thought they would, to be honest, here on this hard point. Saints laying prone, still gets the kill through the jammer. Now you're going to see JCap picked off. Saints has been a monster so far in this series.
Yeah, looking good so far, and of course, Slack, meanwhile, is racking up all that hill time. It's worth mentioning 125 away from that Trinity Rocket. It would be wise for them to give him the points at the initial start of the hill. It's not going to be the case. Either way, though, still has a Scarab to work with, still getting some time on the board, and of course, knows the pressure's coming.
Perfect.
There's the Trinity Rocket. He might just call it in right here, but if he doesn't, that means he's going to be saving it for Graveyard later on, but might get some more kills on the board as well. But Octane, heating up when he needs to, able to pick up 2, keeping his teammate alive.
They are doing a great job. Classic and Octane baiting themselves out, jumping up in the air to make sure that Slack doesn't fall. They know how close he is to this bombardment. And JCap and Slasher are looking for the kill. Slack is going to get the streaks, though. So before he falls, Slack is going to get fully streaked out. Your scoreboard, it's tied before Envy retakes the lead. But Luminosity on these last 2 hills has turned up. They have made this a game. Envy trying to re-establish their dominance. John pushing up. You're going to see Classic and Slack, though, trying to move here on a flank. They find one. Slack looking for another. The hallway has one more attacker, and there it is. All blue in the kill feed. They're set up first for the lower street, and this is where Envy initially pulled away.
Yeah, and Slack is cooking right now as well. He has heated up quite a bit. And LG right now in prime position. Again, this is what Envy did on the reverse side. They had all that control in plat. Now it's going to be Slacked up to him. He's able to win both gunfights before he gets traded out as well, and that is pretty massive. Classic has just been getting all this hill time, even winning gunfights when he's inside the hill. And those defends are absolutely key. He's pushing up to get more. So LG right now, they're in full control of a hill that's normally a little bit more contest heavy, especially when compared to Broken and Graveyard. So LG, they have completely turned this game around. Went from down by 70 points, now they're up by 20.
Envy is trying to reestablish plat control, and there it comes. Slasher and John getting the kills. Now JCap in the feed. It's only Classic left up after that last skirmish, and he's going to be rotating out, knowing they need to get these new spawns. Got to get to market. Classic's going to find some action. Meanwhile, Slacked is behind the market, and Classic's kill there is going to spring Luminosity to a full hold on the Graveyard, potentially, if Slack can hold his position.
Well, he's able to pick up one. Know the pressure's coming from his right as well. Runs out of bullets in the nick of time. So Apathy's in an okay spot, but right now Envy's just not there. They're way too far from the map. And then, of course, you got to keep in mind Slack has those streaks in his back pocket. Should worse come to worse. And here you see the Trinity Rockets coming in, and that's going to pick up the key player that was JCap pushing in through market. Gets a second as well, and that's just the benefit that you have. You get those streaks, this Graveyard Hill becomes incredibly easy.
Ultra effective use of the score streaks there. Picks up 2 kills, stalls out Envy. Octane mopping up the time. He is going to be at about 2 minutes at the end of this hill. Meanwhile, you see his teammates. That's going to be Classic working with Slack. Have Broken on lockdown. Classic with the 2-piece Envy 4 in hand, doing the work. Saints is going to be flanking as well. Luminosity just hitting Envy from all directions. John's behind enemy lines. He's given up his position. Now, how will they react?
well, they're going to have to make a move pretty quick again. 20 seconds before this game is over. Slack's going to be in the back. He's 28-15. He's not losing gunfights like that, not when he's such a good position. He's got a second one over top. JCap able to shut him down. LG still inside the hill. JCap was able to get 2, but it's not going to be enough.
8 seconds left here. Make it 5. Luminosity trying to close out the 3-1 over EnVy. They get their revenge. They win a search and destroy, and then they finish with back-to-back-to-back wins to head to winner's bracket round number 2.
Got to give props to Slack that game. I mean, you know, classic game 1. Octane had his moments as well, and again, classic with those camera plays and Surge. You know, Saints, what do you have, like near 40 bomb, 39 kills or something like that in the uplink, and then the final game, Slack goes nearly double positive, has streaks as well, and again, streaks are probably most effective on this map, more so than any other map in the game. So again, huge plays coming out from the boys on LG, getting that early win.
And Aches just gave the biggest wink to Proofy and Merc coming out from the observer's room. He called it right, man. The boys believed in EnVy, but it's Luminosity coming out on top of this one. They did it in just 4 games, not allowing EnVy to take them out in a 5th, like our past 2 tournaments. Chance, looking at our bracket now, we've seen 2 upsets by the seeds. Is this shaking out how you saw it happening?
Well, definitely not for game number 2. Did not expect United to fall to E6. Definitely saw that LG not only could, but in all likelihood probably would take this match against EnVy. Again, their biggest flaw they seem to have fixed. They've made massive improvements from in the past, so LG is looking very good to be one of your top teams. Of course, though, that final match, if FaZe is able to pull off the upset of Optic, that would be a very interesting day number 1.
If you ran this back with different maps, may have a different story, but right now it's Luminosity coming out with the win, and we have Saints on our main stage.
Thank you, guys. All right, so EnVy sort of had your number over the course of the year. What, Atlanta, Dallas, go to a game 5. They've been able to get the better of you. You handled business here. What do you think has changed with this team that you're able to get the victory over EnVy?
The last 2 times we played them, they beat us in both searches. They beat us in search every time, and we found their groove in search. We've improved on it over the past couple of weeks, and we beat them in search. We came out with a victory. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much the only thing we had to do was improve in search. Our respawn game is filthy, so.
Well, talk to me a little bit more about the search, because I know, hey, me, Analysis, we've all given you guys flack over the course of the year. Even that trio, thinking back to last year, you guys seem to have improved. In your week, you played great. You played solid here. What's the single biggest thing you think that's changed for you guys in Search and Destroy?
We're definitely using a lot more teamwork. We're small talking more. That was a big problem in our search before. We didn't small talk, so, you know, a lane would be open and we'd die from there or something. But we've improved on that, pretty much small talk and teamwork, and that's what's making our Search and Destroy improve.
Talk to me coming into this weekend. So obviously, you know, when you saw the bracket breakdown and you saw the top half, it was terrifying, right? I'm curious, what was the conversation with the guys? What were you thinking coming into this weekend when you saw how tough of a road it was going to be for you?
I don't think we were thinking anything negative. I'm pretty sure we always get like the hardest brackets, so we're pretty much used to it. We just fight through it, I guess.
And one thing I want to touch base, we know how crazy the bracket is. What do you think? Were you able to watch a little bit of that E6 upset over E United? Were you as shocked as I was to see that go down?
I was a little shocked, but I think E6 has a similar playstyle to them, so I knew it was going to be a good match, and E6 came out with the dub.
Well, hey, congrats on the win, buddy. Beautiful stuff from Luminosity as they get the victory. Ben, guys, break it down.
Thank you very much, Maven. A fantastic result for Luminosity, a 3-1 victory over Team EnVyUs. And a certain somebody may have called that.
It was me. I did it. I really studied hard on this matchup. It was intense. Glad I called it.
Good prediction, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you.
How are you so good? You're a wizard.
I'm speechless right now.
You just gotta know.
I warned you, Proof. I said Pat's predictions. They're T1.
I just want to cry right now.
You nailed another
You
one.
use my shoulder.
Joe does
Like I should use Joe's shoulder or Pat's shoulder. This guy's winning every.
He betrayed you.
Yeah.
That is true.
Sorry.
Anyway, a 3-1 victory for Luminosity.
Doing my fun.
We'll break the series down for you now. Map number 1, the hard point Scorch, 250 to 206. So it actually starts off in Team EnVy's favor here. And I mean, to EnVy's credit, the drill hill, Merc, that was what they really controlled very well.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like drill's becoming like the hardest hill to break. I mean, we've talked about Turbine, and we put so much emphasis when it goes into it. You can even see the players, they hold on to their payloads for it. But drill hill, just the past few weeks since stage 1 has begun, you just see teams, they use that cover effectively. It's a full 60. You spawn teams so far out, you make them split. It's very difficult to sort of break as a team.
So I was going to say, teams are finally utilizing how to control spawns on that hill because it's so dominant. If you're able to just consistently spawn them that far, they only get 1, maybe 2 good pushes as a team, and if you can do that, you're going to consistently hold it like these guys do.
Yep, and John played really well on that map. If you look at his time, I think he got all of his time, like Joe said, off of Drill Hill. Them just controlling it and him staying alive in Hill. He almost had 2 minutes of Hill time the first map, so Drill Hill might be the key to winning.
Oh, wow. 94-7 on Hangar. That is a big, big deficit. And John actually made a really, really big play, Merc, that you highlighted on that second to last hill.
Yeah, if you look at Bridge, I mean, it's 81-44, and a huge reason for that was because of John. He rotates. It's like a 1-on-2. He stays alive, makes it a 1-on-1. Prones, waits for his teammates. His teammates are then able to pick up the kills. And when they're rotating to that last turbine hill, they push through it, they get the kills they need, and they're able to sort of close the game out. And it was just beautiful execution by EnVy. It's what we're used to from these guys.
And with that big deficit on Hangar Hill, I think that was because of Classic cleaning up so many rotation kills and giving his team spawns for the Hangar Hill. He got a nasty 2-piece when he had control of it that allowed his team to have it. So go ahead, doing his thing. He's doing his thing.
And for me, like, EnVy played really well on this map. They played that, like, EnVy style of hardpoint, but I feel like Scorch is just not an LG type map, right? Like it doesn't suit their strong suits at all. And I mean, we saw that, like, they got out traded. They weren't able to do what EnVy does. They don't have like a player like John who makes those smart little weird like plays, and that's what Scorch requires. That's why Gunless is one of those players that's really good at it. But yeah, I just don't think Scorch was like an LG map, and EnVy showed up to play.
Yeah, they definitely did. They started the series off 1-0. Then we go over to the Search and Destroy. It was Crusher 6-3 to Luminosity, and it made me laugh because at the start, Merc literally looked at me and went, "All right, I'm gonna tell you exactly what Luminosity does." And you called it out. They're Search and Destroy.
If EnVy did any map preparation, they would have known what they did every single round. Like, I know that's tough to say because the way Luminosity plays, they try to just force 4v4s. Right. Because that's sort of been the issue is when they split apart, you know, it's like, what are you doing? You have these 4 heavily gun-skilled players just force fights, but EnVy, I mean, you could literally see what Luminosity was trying to do, just small mistakes, but Luminosity, every time that EnVy has sort of been able to beat LG, they've taken the first 2 maps, so as soon as they lost this one, it's scary going into 3 and 4 versus LG.
So like for me, like to play devil's advocate of what you said, you can't really study LG, right? Like it doesn't matter what they do, because all they're gonna do is outgun you, and if you can't outshoot them, if you don't have 4 players on their caliber, what are you gonna do? Let them? They just run around the map. They don't have a strat. I swear. They just like, hey guys, we're going as a pack. We're just gonna find these guys.
That's
kill them.
Yeah, no, they have one setup on defense.
And it's kind of funny because it's working for them because of the amount of talent they have. And
yeah,
my only advice to EnVy is to work on Crusher. I mean, they're 5-0 in Search map count, but Crusher they're 0-3 now.
So when Proofy told me that is when I said 3-1 LG. Remember?
So I get 10% commission for his prediction. Definitely.
That's not how it works.
No?
That's simply not how it works.
Sorry.
But as you said, EnVy now 0-3 on Crusher. I mean, if you were playing on Team EnVy and you found that out, how do you improve? What'd you do?
Well, I think it's very similar to what Luminosity's problem was, probably small talk communication. You have to sort of be able to win those 4-on-4s because that's what it turns into. It turns into 4-on-4 retakes, or as an offense, sort of to be able to push through either A or B bomb site. And early on, you sort of saw that, but just Luminosity, they caught fire, and it's hard to stop them.
And with how popular B-bomb side is, you saw EnVy try and hit those flanks. You can't let Octane just pick you off and get away, which he did multiple times. And then in those 4v4 fights, I mean, they were outmanned and outgunned.
Always outnumbered in every
LG
initiation.
just got that entry kill every single time in every retake or hold. And I mean,
at that point, I think you just throw the strats out the window if you're EnVy and do what they do. Just try to combat 4-on-4 and see who wins that.
Well, that's what you saw. But again, when Luminosity forces a 50-50 playstyle, it sort of goes into their favor.
That's what they wanted.
The gun skill favors them every time.
Yep.
Very true. So series tied at 1-1. We head over to the next map. Map number 3 was Uplink Frost. 9-3 to Luminosity. And this was just Octane making play after play, it felt like.
Yeah, for me, it was Octane was the playmaker in almost every situation. On defense, offense, he was coming up with big, even one kill, like those big entry kills and those big 2P stops. And then with Saint slaying the way he was, it just lets Octane, make those kind of plays. I mean, Jerry, I don't think had a great map, but I mean, when you got Saints going plus 15, like, you really don't stand a chance.
Yeah, and I think if Slasher replicates his first half performance in the second half, they keep that game a lot closer. I mean, he had 20 kills at the halftime, And I think he only ended up with like 25 or 26 kills to end the game. So if he can continue to stay on the level of Saints played at, I think that game's a lot closer, and we might see EnVy win that.
Very true. I think he was 20-11 at the half, and he went 7-22 in the second half.
You also can't rely on your K-bar player to be the guy to do that. Like,
right. That's what I was going to go on. Is Apathy has a slow game, and he's their aggressive E-Red player. You know, he's been sort of their star this year, and if he's not playing well on that map, their E-Rads are just going to run over EnVy.
I think the story of that map was Saints completely shut him down.
40 bomb Saints.
He was close. He was close. 1.65 KD. I mean, there, look at the box score. You can see just how much Luminosity shifted into that next gear. Then, of course, we go over to the map number 4, Hardpoint Retail. Again, Luminosity, it just didn't look like they were going to lose this one, Merc. I mean,
well, it did early on.
Early on, after what, 2-3 hills, but after that, the slaying really kicked in.
It was the Broken Hill first rotation that changed everything. LG held that, and from there they never slowed down, and EnVy couldn't get back into game or get back into rhythm or find a setup to help their team control something.
For me, this game wouldn't have even been close if LG didn't make that bad play where Jerry flanked Market for them. I know he got a 2-piece, but he spawned his team so far out. They had a good setup. They could have got a big chunk of time, but EnVy flooded up Market, and Jerry went for that late pinch, and it just gave them the bad spawn, and EnVy ended up getting like 50 seconds. I don't think if they got that, this game wouldn't have been close at all.
Yeah, and you just talk about how important streaks are. I mean, they're able to set up on that sort of Cathedral Hill. EnVy finally gets a good push in. You know, Jerry makes a great play. He calls down his streak, shuts down 3 of them. That allows them to then sort of move on to rotation for Broken, close the game out. Just a great play. And I mean, this map is just so important for streaks. Slack getting those on that bridge hill was just a huge win for them.
Well, congratulations once again to Luminosity Gaming. A 3-1 victory over Team EnVyUs is going to send Team EnVyUs down to that losers bracket. That losers bracket looking like a scary place to be.
You don't want to be there.
Looking stacked.
I definitely wouldn't want to be there, but
no sleep tonight.
Right? I'd be worried, that's for sure. But moving forward, we should talk a little bit about Score Streak. Yes. It's your favorite game, Merc, and I can imagine these two are about to get pretty competitive when it comes to, of course, Score Streak, the exclusive game on mlg.tv/COD. You can play it there. We were asking questions throughout that series, and curious to see exactly what we asked, and of course, how many of you guys at home were getting them right. We have our leaderboard as well. Oh, this is going to be fun. I know, Merc, you're normally pretty good with this stuff. First question was, what will be the score difference in game 1? 51% said less than 40. 49% said 40 or more. So that was actually split down the middle.
Yeah, for game 1, I mean, Scorch is a map where it's usually either really tight or a blowout. Yeah. So that's a tough one.
That makes sense.
And
That's
both teams playing pretty good at it.
I probably would have said A, to be honest.
You're supposed to say.
Yeah, I think I would have too.
I would have got it wrong.
Yeah,
Really, you would have?
All the score streams we've seen that have come down to Turbine, like one push.
Okay.
I would have won with A.
I feel like Proof was going to say he was going to go for B.
No, I'd definitely go with that.
You definitely go
Such
for
a
All
close
right, so
match.
all
I feel
three.
like they
You're not doing a good. Like you're my expert panel right here. You're not getting the questions wrong.
In an LG versus EnVyUs game, you think it's going down to the wire.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough. In map number 2, what did we ask in that search and destroy? Of course, it was Crusher. 6-3 LG win. We asked how many rounds will be played in game 2. 56% of you guys got it right. 9 rounds.
That's the safe bet. That's the safe bet, though.
Well, I was going with C. I'm confused too. I don't want to go for A or B, so I'm just going to go for C2.
I would have hit D.
You would have hit D?
Why? It's not all of the above.
Because then I have 2 options. I mean, C, you got 1. That's impressive.
That is brave.
Well, you guys did a great job.
Yeah, I guess
56%. That's a lot of people.
Good.
Like that is phenomenal. I probably would have done the same thing. I would have gone with D as well. 10 or 11. The final question, of course, we asked this in map number 3. Was the Uplink Frost. It was a 9-3 victory to LG, and we asked how many total points will be scored in the first half of game 3. A less than 6, B 6 or more. There was 6 on the dot. 60% of you got that right. Is that a good way to vote?
Yeah, but I got all these wrong.
I would go with A.
I don't know. Well, Frost is such a 50-50 map. Yeah. You can either get that spawn trap and you're going to blow them out, or it's going to be a really close half where you're just kind of stalemating the whole time until someone catches fire.
Would have been on no streak.
You would have been on a 0 streak, bro. But we know there's some people out there, of course, that are on a streak. Let's take a look at our leaderboard now and see if we recognize any of the names that we've seen throughout the first 4 weeks. And see if maybe you see your own name. So highest streak right now is 7. So that's not
impressive.
That's not too bad.
I don't notice anyone from other weeks.
Blood and Grace. I'm pretty sure Blood and Grace. No?
Made that up.
No?
But shout out to that guy.
Yeah, shout out to him.
You say, Ben, so coming into this, Ben was like, you know what, I don't really want to do the questions, just the leaderboard. See, that turned out to be a great time.
Yeah, okay. You're right. But only because all three of you would have got all the questions.
Where's Optic Angelo? I remember him.
Oh,
three times in a row.
Yeah, he was what, 11, I think?
Yeah.
His streak. We've had some definitely.
We're waiting on you to come back.
Some big ones, but 7 streak. Of course, that is going to grow throughout the weekend as well. So we'll see come Sunday what the highest streak is. Of course, that game exclusive to MLG.tv/COD. Moving forward as well, we talked a little bit about Anaheim. We talked about it to start the day. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience, and can't wait to go back. It's kind of a staple.
Always my favorite event, if anyone was wondering. Anaheim's always my favorite.
Why is that?
Because I won there.
Okay, fair enough. June 16th to June 18th, $200,000 on the line at the Anaheim Convention Center. I always ask you guys, what was it like playing? Obviously, Proof, you won there. Pat, you had success there, and Merc, I mean,
I didn't win.
but you still had. You got good places. You got good places, right? And one of the clips that always stands out in my mind when I think of you as a player, obviously that massive 1v3 you get back in Black Ops 2, and the crowd erupts. You get up. It was very rare to see you kind of like start get up.
That was the crowd there is amazing. I know Adam's been hyping it out. How many people have already bought tickets? So I know it's going to be absolutely a wonderful event.
Cannot wait. But before we get there, of course, we still have the Stage 1 playoffs, and we still have one more game to play here at day 1 of the Call of Duty Global Pro League Stage 1 playoffs. Splice, Enigma 6, and LG have all booked their spots into the winners bracket semi-finals. Up next, we find out who will be the final team to advance in the bracket. One of the biggest rivalries in Call of Duty esports, FaZe Clan, Optic Gaming, coming up after this.